Mornings can be hectic and it can be tough to get something that is healthy and nourishing and filling on the table for either just yourself or for your family. It's definitely tempting or easier just to hand over something that is pre-prepared or processed, or just pour maybe like some milk over a bowl of cereal and call it a day. But there really is so much room here to provide nourishment for yourself and your family, and I'm a big believer that breakfast really is like the most important meal of the day because it sets you up for the day. And it's obviously more difficult to make something that is homemade, but if you work a little bit ahead, it actually can be pretty simple, and you can make your meal times in the morning a total cinch while you can still offer something that is really healthy and filling and going to set everyone up for a productive day. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Becca. I'm a registered dietitian and I share lots of healthy eating and nutrition and lifestyle content here on my channel. And in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you 4 make-ahead breakfast ideas. I know that mornings can be tough, whether you've got a long commute, you're up really early, you've got kids at home, you're getting them off to school. It can just be a stressful, hectic time, and getting something that's really healthy and nourishing into everyone's bellies can be a challenge. These recipes all can be thrown together pretty much under 10 minutes. One of them does have to be baked, but that's like totally hands-off time, so I don't really count that. So they're quick, they're simple, they're nourishing, and they're also very tasty. So if you guys want to see 4 quick, easy, nourishing breakfast ideas that you can totally make ahead of time, let's get started. My first recipe is just a simple egg bake, and I'm basically giving you guys the base here, and you can make it plain. My kids actually really like it plain, just like this, but you can also add whatever you want to it. You can totally customize this. You can add veggies, you can add breakfast meats, like whatever your heart desires, you can add. So the actual recipe itself is 8 eggs, 2/3 cup of sour cream, 1/8 cup of milk, a little bit of salt and pepper, and I actually throw all of that in my blender to make it even easier and just whip it up really quickly so I don't have to do it by hand. And then you just pour all of that into a baking dish. I think this is an 8x8 dish I'm using. And I did spray it beforehand so that it is greased. And then you're just gonna add in 1 cup of shredded cheese and just kind of push the cheese down into the egg mixture. And then you're just going to bake it at 350 degrees from anywhere from like 35 to 50 minutes. Basically, once the center is set and it's no longer jiggly, it is ready to eat, and you can eat it just like this. We would typically pair it with a piece of sourdough, homemade sandwich bread with some butter on it, but it's super easy, super filling, and all you have to do is prepare it the day before and then throw it in the oven the morning of, and you're basically done. Next, I want to share with you guys what I typically make for chia pudding. I have such an obsession for chia pudding. Not only is it like really tasty and satisfying and filling, but it actually is very nutrient dense as well. So what I do is I do 1 cup of milk and 4 tablespoons of chia seeds. Now, this is optional, but I do add a little splash of heavy cream because it just makes it that much creamier. Just a little bit goes a long way, and it makes a really big difference. And then I'll add a little pinch of cinnamon, and I basically just shake it up. I store it in the fridge. I usually like to leave it in the fridge for a day. I feel like that's where it really gets like thick and more pudding-like. And then whenever you're ready to eat it, just pull it out. And my favorite way to eat it is with sliced bananas, some walnuts, and then a little bit of cinnamon sprinkled on top. It is so good. It's so satisfying, and it's full of fat, it's full of protein, it's got a lot of omega-3s, so it really is going to fuel you for your day and keep you feeling really full. But it's something that can be made totally in advance, very, very quickly thrown together, and you can also top it with whatever you want, so it's very customizable to whatever you like to eat. Next up is another make-ahead favorite, and that is overnight oats. This is another recipe that's very customizable, but I'm gonna be sharing with you some berry overnight oats that I think are so tasty. So in a jar, I am making, and you can obviously make a bigger batch of this, but this is just be for one serving, half a cup of oats, and then I add half a cup of frozen berries as well, and they will totally like soften and get juicy and plump while they're, you know, overnighting in the fridge. I do 3/4 cup of milk, and then 1 tablespoon of hemp seeds, which are high in protein. They're going to add a little kick of protein to whatever you add them to, but they barely add any flavor. You don't even notice they're there. They are such an awesome like staple to keep in your pantry. And I'm also adding 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, or 2 teaspoons of chia seeds to thicken it up a little bit, and then also again add a little fat, a little protein, get some omega-3s in there, a little bit more fiber, and then I add a little splash of vanilla and also a pinch of cinnamon, and again just kind of stir this up, stick it in the fridge, leave it in there overnight, and then the next day it will be creamy and just like really like silky, and the berries will have softened and it's just juicy and it's really very satisfying. I find it sweet enough on its own just with the berries. You could also add a little drizzle of maple syrup to sweeten it up even more. But when I make regular oatmeal, I don't sweeten it, so this is just how I prefer it. Next, we're just going to make some make-ahead smoothies. This really is not revolutionary, but smoothies can be a great thing for breakfast as long as they are more balanced and nutrient dense. And while smoothies are pretty quick to throw together anyway, if your morning really is busy and hectic, then it really helps to actually assemble all the smoothie ingredients, or most of them, ahead of time, so that you can literally just dump it in your blender, throw the liquid in, and you're ready to go. What's great about this is since it's all being stored in the freezer, you can make a bunch of these ahead of time, and you can just grab these, you know, as you need them out of the freezer. But my go-to smoothie is a bunch of frozen berries, a little bit of frozen mango. I always add some kind of greens, basically whatever we have in the fridge. I like to again add hemp hearts because they up the protein, and then I also add beef liver powder because this is just totally going to up the nutrient density. But if I just do a scoop, and this is a pretty big smoothie that feeds my whole family, but you can't taste it at all. It's totally mixed in with all the other flavors. And then as far as the liquid that we use, I have found what we like the best, and I feel like everyone's picky about what liquid they use in their smoothie, but what we like the best is a mix of just our raw milk that we drink and then also apple juice, because I like that sweetness, I like that tartness that the apple brings, but I also don't want the whole thing to be made with juice because that's just a lot of sugar. And then also when you add in milk, it's adding fat and protein as well. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have yet to subscribe, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'd also love for you to share it with someone you think would also really enjoy it. But that is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.